Just seen Moses and Elijah on top of the Mount of Transfiguration, heard the voice of God booming. They know Jesus is the Messiah, but something puzzles them. They say, why say the scribes that Elias must come first? In other words, Jesus, we know you're the Messiah and all, we don't doubt that, but something puzzles us. Elijah was supposed to appear before the Messiah, and yet, Elijah, we just now saw him on the Mount of Transfiguration. You've already come. So how do we explain you being the Messiah with this unfulfilled prophecy here hanging over you? And Jesus explained to them in verse number 11, Elias truly shall come first and restore all things. He shall come and restore all things. In other words, the ultimate fulfillment of that prophecy is still future at the time that Jesus is telling his disciples this in the Gospels. And the disciples understood. He said, I tell you that Elias has already come, and they have done unto him whatsoever they will. And when he said that, the apostles thought about it, and they realized, oh, he's talking about John the Baptist. John the Baptist was a partial fulfillment of this prophecy. He wasn't literally Elijah, but he had come in the power and the spirit of Elijah. But someday, in the future, the real Elijah will come back from heaven. You know, Elijah never died, right? You realize that, okay? He's still in a mortal body. He's still in a body that if there were any germs in heaven, he could catch them, but there aren't. If there was any aging in heaven, he could grow old, but there isn't. So he's in a perfectly preserved body, just waiting for the time when God sends him back for one more job. And how exactly is Elijah going to come and restore all things? By turning the hearts of the fathers and the children toward each other, by restoring the homes. You fix the home and you fix the culture. You fix the home and you fix the nation. You fix the home and you fix the world. And you fix the home by fixing the relationships between fathers and their children, which is the exact opposite of what Jesus said his first coming would accomplish. In Matthew 10, verse 34 to 36, he said, I am not come to send peace on the earth, but a sword. For houses will be divided over me. The son will be against the father, and the father against the son, and the mother against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother. And a man's enemies shall be those of his own household. He knew that the nation would reject him, that the nation would be torn over him, that they'd be divided and homes would be torn apart by this division. But at his return, all Israel will say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. It will be the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All Israel shall be saved during the tribulation. And this begins to be fulfilled at the very beginning of the tribulation as the two witnesses preach in Jerusalem, and 144,000 Jewish male virgins are converted, and they begin scattering around the globe, preaching the gospel to every kindred and nation and tribe and tongue, and a great multitude whom no man could number is saved as a result of their testimony. And you can see that in Revelation 7:1 all the way down to Revelation 8:1, and the Bible in chapter 7, after it describes these 144,000 and their innumerable multitudes that are converted, the very next thing that happens in Revelation 8:1 is the seventh seal is broken. So it's during the breaking of the first seven seals that this revival begins to take place. And the first Jews, 144,000 of them, get saved. And later in Revelation 14, those 144,000 are called the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. The preaching of Elijah and Moses results in the conversion of 144,000 evangelists, and that's how the conversion begins. And this conversion of all Israel accelerates in the middle of the tribulation when these two witnesses seen by the Antichrist in Revelation chapter 11. And then, after 3.5 days, something unexpected happens. Do you know what it is? They rise from the dead, and all their enemies see them. And all the people around the world see these two witnesses lying dead in the streets of Jerusalem, rising on their feet, which I would say is an oblique prophecy of satellite television. If people all around the world are seeing them rise while it's happening.